So, am I looking forward to the next um, update or the next, even next year with ESO? Basically, am I on board with the direction that they're taking the game? I'm asking this question to myself, and because there are a lot of people that I see who are who are not happy with the direction that ESO appears to be going in. And a lot of the complaints that I see are that there's too much not back and forth, but the swings in meta are too great for a lot of players. Um, I I don't I want to I want to be careful about how I say this, but swings in meta are not an issue for people who don't chase the meta, or people who are not min maxing, or people who are not trying to get the absolute most out of the build that they're playing or the character that they're playing because they're like in competitive either PvP or PvE. And like like I was saying, that's an issue for people who are chasing the meta. And so I don't mean this to come across rude or as being dismissive or anything like that. Uh, but I don't see a real reason for pessimism, or I don't see a real cause for discontentment. So as somebody who plays just to have fun, who creates characters that have themes, characters that have a background story in my head, a head canon. Um, I don't look at it and say, well, I don't build a character and say, oh, okay, I want to make a night blade that is just going to nuke people, so I need to use a Khajiit and a and put on this gear and that gear and use this skill and that skill and the most absolute most powerful stuff in the game. That's not what I do. I look at it and say, okay, I want to make a hybrid sorcerer, a battle mage, which I'm gonna get into the topic of battle mages in a minute. I hope I don't forget to mention it later, so maybe I will. Um, but so I'll just say, okay, I want to make a battle mage. I want to make a sorcerer who uses physical attacks and um, magical attacks. So what do I need to do in order to make that work? And so I get the skills that I need. I need. Hey, I'm sorry, I'm looking at something, so I'm a little bit distracted. I crystal weapon. Okay, so I get the skills that I need. I get the sets that I need for sustain, for damage. I'm, of course, I want it to be viable. So I am looking for stuff that's strong, but I'm not looking for the character to be the strongest. I'm looking for the character to be the strongest that it can be, but not the strongest that characters can be. You get what I mean? So, um, I don't look at it when the meta starts shifting and changing. I adjust to keep the build working, or I adjust to keep the build viable. I don't adjust to be on top of the game or on top of the meta. Uh, as long as my character can still perform, I don't have to refarm gear. I don't have to um, do another grind or anything. Now, if there's some new stuff coming out that I want, like a better set, I'll grind for that. And that you're always going to have that. And of course, I get sick of the grind too. I'm like, okay, now this set that I'm using is not as strong as the set that's coming out. Okay, so I need to get that set, um, that can be a tiresome grind. I understand that. But as long as the other stuff that I already have is still functional, it's it's for me it's not that bad. And for the most part, everything that's in the game that I use has been functional for a long time and is probably going to remain functional or at least viable. Maybe that's what I should use. Um, but that's all I guess. That's all I really need. I don't really have to chase anything else. Um, so s- since I mentioned battle mages, um, I guess this ties into where the game is going. The game seems to be hybridized, or the devs appear to be hybridizing the game a little bit more, or hybridizing sets and skills and passives. And of course, that would better enable the whole play as you want sort of ideology. Is that the right word? But the whole play as you want mantra or whatever that will only help that. And so I see positive moves being made towards that. Um, a lot of like the passes with the medium armor giving weapon and spell damage now. Weapon and spell damage bonuses. Yeah, it's going to lose crit chance, but you get crit damage. And for well, an issue that people had was with proc sets not being able to be used on magic builds anymore because you couldn't stack spell damage the way you could stack weapon damage, but now you can because medium armor is going to get those weapon spell damage passives. So you can actually use process again if you wish to on a medium armor build. Yes, you will lose some penetration, but you can still use the proc set. You can get penetration in other ways. As long as you have a baseline for what you want, you can find another way to get penetration. Um, but they're hybridizing the game a little bit more, which is great for me because all my characters will be more viable. And not only that, but I think they are paving the way for another class. That's what it appears to be obvious. What appears to be obvious to me, or that is what is obvious to me, that this hybridization of the game is setting the stage for either what I thought would probably be a monk class, but it could be a battle mage class as Coyote from that's the guild master for upper echelon mediocrity. He had mentioned that it could be a battle mage, and now that I think about it, that's probably what they may do. Even though technically you can make a battle mage out of a hybrid sorcerer, but anyway, if they do make a class called a battle mage, there are hints and signs that they may be doing that on the website that he mentioned. Um, the Elder Scrolls Online website, you can find information about a character named Lucilla, who is a battle mage, and they go into what battle mages are and what she does. And so many of us have been asking for the one hand and sword fighting style. It looks like that could be what the battle mage uses. Um, I don't know. That excites me. I'm not quite as pessimistic about where the game is going as other people are. I do think they are trying to do what they can, but it has to be slow. It has to be incremental, and unfortunately, I run out of patience too sometimes. But they have to get things approved. They have to plan out things far ahead, and I think they're doing it. We just have to be patient. So I'm looking forward to seeing where the game goes. And I mean, the whole thing with the buff to, or should I say, the increased damage mitigation across the board for everybody, leading to a possible tank meta is slightly concerning. But I think I suspect it's not going to be as bad as we think it is. So yeah, I'm pretty on board for whatever comes next. I'm optimistic about the game. So. That's all I had to say. Thank you for watching.